Hey guys, it's Peter Frey, and welcome to the Living with Hope podcast, a daily devotional where we dig into God's Word and explore what it means to live with hope in Jesus. As we journey through this Advent season, the central reality of Advent is the identity of who Jesus is. And as we reflect on that reality of who Jesus is this Advent season, it's my hope that we can pause and not rush through the meaning of a name. Here's what I mean. I find introductions to be a remarkably awkward necessity of life. When you meet someone new, it's like you have this opportunity, this moment in time to define yourself, to tell that person who you are, what you do, who your family is, who your friends are. And in whatever we introduce ourselves, we're in essence giving ourselves a name, an identity, and really who we believe ourselves to be. In Exodus chapter 3, God had called Moses to go to the people of Israel and say that famous line, "Set my people free." And God was going to deliver the people of the people of Israel out of their slavery in Egypt. And in that moment, as God is calling Moses, Moses has a question for God. And in Exodus chapter 3, verse 14, we read, "Moses said to God, 'If I come to the people of Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask me, what is his name? What shall I say to them?' And God said to Moses, 'I am who I am.' And he said, 'Say this to the people of Israel, I am has sent me to you.'" God had called Moses to deliver Israel from Pharaoh's oppression. And as Moses ran through this scenario in his head, he anticipated an objection. And this was the objection. Who is this God who is sending him? What is his name? At face value, God's answer to Moses seems like a bit of a cop-out. It seems as if it's an elusive dodge to a difficult question. I am who I am. But on the contrary, we find that the name that God gives is deeply theological and immensely important as we discover who God is. I am who I am is an identity that needs no definition, because God's existence and his identity are not dependent on anything or any person. He's the self-existing, eternal God who has no beginning and no end. God needs no introduction. God is who he is, and the simplicity of his name, I am, only points us to the complexity of his being. You see, during the Advent season, we celebrate many names which are attributed to Jesus. In fact, in Matthew chapter 1, verse 21, the angel said to Joseph, "And you shall call his name Jesus, for he will deliver his people from their sins." He's called the Christ, the Messiah, the Son of Man, the light of the world, living water, bread of life. Each of these names are colored with the characteristics of who Jesus is. However, when the day is done, when Christmas has come, when we come to adore the babe born and lying in a manger, we must realize that the one we celebrate is the one who proclaimed, "Truly, truly, I say to you, before Abraham was, I am." Jesus spoke these words in John chapter 8. And with this introduction, Jesus is not only describing himself as timeless, but he declared himself to be the very I am who declared and revealed himself to Moses. He is the self-existing, eternal God. And this is the beauty of Advent. This is the mystery of the incarnation, that God took on flesh, that the self-existent, eternal God of all of creation took on the form of a human, fully God and fully man. And this is the meaning of our Christmas celebration. This is the meaning of our Advent anticipation. That the Christ who has come is the Christ who is and was and always will be, fully God, fully man. The one who needs no definition and no introduction. He is God in the flesh, Jesus Christ. So my question for you this Advent season is, what will you be defined by? Is it the busyness of the season? Is it the gifts that you give and receive? Is it the trinkets that we treasure? Or is it the I am who has come? It's my prayer this Advent that we would be defined by the one who needs no definition, that we would allow our lives to be shaped by the one who is and was and always will be. And as we come this Advent to adore that baby in a manger, may we be gripped with the reality that the one who is and was and always will be has come for you and me.